Let's talk about Hitler.
That'll make sense later.
I'm immaculately conceived.
I don't know what to do.
I swear I'm not stupid.
Take it or leave it. Sometimes you just want to leave it.
If I gotta borrow my mom's underwear, I'm borrowing her underwear.
You just, yeah.
Misa likes the Jar Jar Binks.
I'm not gonna edit it out.
Oh no.
I don't know. Like, I think I'm just pretty great. Just staying on the
Sucks to
planet.
suck.
Why are you saying it with a question mark?
Clap, bitch.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Action.
And we're live. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jessica.
This is Why Are You Yelling? Welcome back to another F1 race review. Today we are talking about round 17 of the 2025 Formula One season, the Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Woo!
I thought you said guitar. And I was like, that's not what she said.
Qatar, Qatar, however you say it.
Yeah.
We're at the Baku City Circuit.
Yes.
This track, just overall thoughts about this track.
Okay. During qualifying, I was done.
It was the devil.
It was Satan. It was longer than the race ended up being. 2 hours of my life just watching everybody, like red flag, red flag, red flag. And I was like, oh my God.
I got so many chores done during that 2-hour qualifying. Because you usually with qualifying, it's really the last 2 minutes of each qualifying session that you really want to like be focused in on and sit down, pay attention.
Yeah.
So like normally I can do other stuff while it's going. I'll like cook breakfast or, do some light chores or fold laundry.
Yeah.
I did laundry, several loads. I did dishes. I fed the cat.
I was just, whatever. I think they said like it was a record. It's the most red flags they've had during a qualifying session, I guess, ever. And I was like,
I think it either beat or tied the record.
Yeah. I was just like.
And it set the record for the longest qualifying session by, I think they said 20 minutes.
I mean, it just.
Crazy.
So, but the race itself, I liked it. I mean.
It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, it was, obviously, we'll talk about the podium in a second, but.
It's one of those where beginning and end, great. The middle was kind of.
I mean, there was always something, but we had so many DRS trains and so. Honestly, a lot less red flags during the race than I thought we would have. That makes spice things up a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess everybody got all their crashing done in qualifying, and so it was a pretty tame race. Besides, we had some incidents, but there was no red flag. So, I mean, it was, I fell asleep during the last 2 laps because I watched it live and I was tired because it's 7 a.m. our time when it started. But I mean, at that point, it was nothing was going to happen. I mean, so it was fine. Yeah. Yeah.
The track itself, I think, was okay, I guess.
That one corner so narrow, it's crazy. That's freaky.
I did like, there was a couple shots where I could see where there were like 3 cars wide going into some of the corners and stuff, especially at the beginning, which I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, we like to see close action and stuff like that. So that was nice. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, it was a fine, okay. In terms of like your favorite, because I think we have certain favorite tracks that we are like, it slaps here every time. Like, I know it's going to be a good race, or even just the track is interesting itself and provides cool moments. But in terms of like the ranking of the circuits that they have been to so far, this is probably middle or close to the bottom for me.
I was just like, okay.
It's like, whatever. You're like, meh. It's fine.
Yeah,
I know certain drivers hated, I'm sure, this track.
A lot of drivers don't love street circuits.
Yeah.
I wouldn't love a street circuit if I was a driver. I would hate it because you're no room for error whatsoever. And it's not even that it's like a precision thing. It's just like sometimes, using the curves, there were places you could have done that, I guess. But it's just kind of like there's not a lot of development in the track because it's a street circuit, so people aren't on it all the time. So it's like slippery. I don't know.
I understand that street circuits can be more challenging to drive on because they are not purpose-built tracks. They are not made for racing. Yeah. So it presents challenges, and you could argue that you get it. They're not, because they're not made for race cars, that the cars aren't able to perform at their peak level. But I don't want to just watch cars go fast. I want to see stuff happen.
I mean, I want to see cars go fast and pass each other and fight each other and have the chance to fight each other. I think that's what it is. I don't like tracks that, and I know this track was supposed to be a track they, can overtake on, and there were overtakes. It's just, I enjoy a track that like it's inviting racecraft, and some tracks don't invite that. And that's where I'm like, I'm bored. Like Monaco at this point, bored.
Yeah.
So, well, with that being said, our race podium, we have once again Max Verstappen.
Hey.
And then his best friend, George Russell, and Carlos Sainz.
Let's go.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the qualifying results were nuts. The final podium and race results were nuts.
That was insane.
I mean, I know that we kind of expected Mercedes to be better because of the cooler temperatures. For whatever reason, that car just does better.
It's been like that since for a while now.
Yeah, it does better in cooler temperatures. I think McLaren expected to struggle at this track a little bit, but not to the degree that they did. Like, I mean, it was rough.
It was,
I don't know who this McLaren team was this weekend, but that is not the McLaren of this year so far.
I feel like the racing gods themselves were just like, oh, you thought it was over? Because during like the pre-race show with F1 TV, they're like, hey, if they finish basically what
1-2 or 1-3
or 1-3, the constructors championship is over, done. Well, that didn't happen.
Sure did not.
No, we did have some changes in the constructor standings. Mercedes has surpassed Ferrari for second place, and Racing Bulls has surpassed Aston Martin for sixth. So, hallelujah for them. That's fun. Normally, I feel like half the time we're always like, no change. Everything's the same. And in the driver standings, Kimi Antonelli has went from 8th to 7th. Carlos Sainz has went from 18th to 12th.
Wow, huge jump.
Yeah. Liam Lawson has went from 15th to 13th. And Yuki Tsunoda went from 19th to 17th. Okay. But yeah, that Carlos Sainz jump was like the biggest one. Like 18th to 12th.
Yeah, that was a significant points haul for him and for the team. And, I know that we'll talk more about it a little later, but that was just great for him. I was so happy for him and for just the Williams team as a whole.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see.
It was really fun. I was like, oh, yay.
Yeah. So getting into our fun facts.
Yeah.
Which we all know is my favorite part. I love a fun fact.
Yeah. I remember them. I'll spit them out randomly. I'm like, did you know? And I'm like, oh, I retain a lot more than I think I do.
Did you know all these fun facts?
Exactly.
So Max Verstappen, coming in first place this round, recorded a second consecutive Grand Slam result. So that is getting pole position. That is leading every lap of the race, getting fastest lap, and finishing P1. So that is a Grand Slam. Second. And I'm just like, okay, Max. Calm down now.
Feel different.
He's like, listen, we made the change that I wanted to make to the car. We made some decisions and went in a direction that I have been pushing for. And he's like, look what happened.
And Yuki performed better too.
Yeah. Which is like, okay. Which Yuki did say that he and Max are not running the same exact specs on their car.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Yuki said that there's some tweaks to his that are more suited to his driving style, which makes sense.
Yeah, which I'm like, you should do that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to see him. And I'm just like, okay, this championship ain't over. Sorry. I had made that joke a while ago. I'm like, I don't know. I still think Max might win. And there's still a part of me that's like,
he could.
If McLaren does this every time, he really could.
Mm-hmm.
Like a DNF and like Lando not making up that many places really at all. Like, bruh.
So this was Max's 6th Grand Slam of his F1 career, and he's now tied with Lewis Hamilton for second on the all-time list for Grand Slams, behind Jimmy Clark, who had 8. So Max Verstappen is only the 3rd driver to win from pole in Baku. And with his victory last time out at Monza, he has won consecutive races for the first time since Canada and Spain in 2024. So over a year. Like a year and some change. So Max has reduced his championship deficit to 69 points behind leader Oscar Piastri. And Max has now led more laps this season than Lando Norris. So Max has led 282 laps, and Lando has led for 241.
Wow.
Yeah. So Max has won the last 2 races. Now, the race before his win at Monza in Hungary, he finished 1 minute and 12 seconds behind the race winner. So, like, to go from finishing 1 minute and 12 seconds after the race is technically, like, done, to winning 2 in a row, I'm like, that jump is huge. It's like, what happened 3 races ago? Why did he
I'm
finish?
sitting here, I don't even remember. I'm like, what happened? Okay. Dang, well, he said not again.
This win for Max is the second one for Red Bull under team principal Laurent Mekies. Mekies.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
That's impressive, though.
Yeah.
I don't, like, it'd be interesting to know, like, what has changed.
For the turnaround to happen.
Yeah, for the turnaround. It'd be interesting to see, like, what, like, even just to hear, like, the people who work at Red Bull, like, what are the changes you've seen since Christian Horner has been gone versus now? Like, what are the differences? That would be something I'd be curious to know, because I just don't know what that would be, because I've never worked within a team.
Because the way that it's been framed is that Max was wanting to develop the car a certain direction, and they were not either listening to his input or for whatever reason weren't going that way when Horner was there. And since Horner's left, they have now started to implement some of the changes that Max wanted, and now the car seems to be doing better, obviously, because Max is winning again. Yeah. So I wonder if that's just a coincidence of timing, that they were like, no, we're going to, because it could have been they were going to stick out, trying out the way they wanted to develop the car up to a certain point. And then if it clearly still wasn't working, revert back to a different spec or go in a different direction.
Yeah.
So it could be that it's just a coincidence that the timing worked out that way.
Yeah.
But it could also just be that Laurent was like, well, Max is driving the car. He knows the car better than any of us.
I just don't see why. I just don't see a world where Christian Horner wouldn't have listened to Max. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, that's what I don't, like, it's not translating to me. Like, why wouldn't he have listened to Max? Like, I don't.
Who knows?
Yeah. So, I don't know.
All speculation. Yeah. Just would be curious to know. So moving on to George Russell finishing P2 for Mercedes. This was his 7th podium finish this season. It was Mercedes' best finish in Baku since 2019. George Russell previously finished 3rd in the 2022 and 2024 Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Like they were saying he had like a upper respiratory infection or something, and he was still out there.
He was sick. Like, to be excused from like media duties and stuff like that, and to not have to, because that's a very important part of their role within the team. Like, and it's not even just like the team requires it. It's part of like F1's requirements that the drivers have to talk to media. But it's like that across most sports organizations and franchises, like that thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he was not feeling great. He didn't sound great. He sounded tired. He sounded ill. And he still pulled out a P2.
Yeah, he did good.
Yeah, and, kudos to him for being able to do that. But then it comes back to, the car. The Mercedes car, as we all know, just does well in cooler weather. I mean, it's been like that for the last 2-3 years.
I mean, Kimi did really well too. So.
Yeah. And Kimi had been struggling, even with Toto, Wolff giving some comments to the press, basically being like, that wasn't good enough and he needs to do better. The kind of like the first time we've heard him be anything other than positive or optimistic or toward Kimi. So
I know. I was like,
all right. It's like it's an interesting tonal shift, but I mean, it makes sense. We're 17 races in. So it's like, Kimi's got to do better. He can't keep it, but he's so young. He's a baby. He just turned 18.
Yeah.
Leave him alone, Toto. Yeah. Be nice to him.
Don't act like Christian. Don't do it.
But yeah, I mean, even like you said, even Kimi did really well. Qualified P4, finished P4. So Carlos Sainz, driving for Williams, finished P3. He becomes the second driver after Alain Prost to finish on the podium for 3 different teams, being McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams.
Yeah, the top ones really that have been the big boys.
Yeah. Williams' last podium in a full-length race was Azerbaijan 2017, with Lance Stroll coming in P3.
Wow.
Okay. I know Williams has sucked for a long time.
Ouch. Yeah.
I mean, they have. But yeah, that's pre-Drive to Survive. Wow.
Pretty historic.
Yeah, I mean, because that's my only
I know.
frame of reference for like Williams and their history as a team in terms of what I've seen.
That's so crazy too, because it's like Williams was that team. Like Senna
Williams
left,
was that bitch.
No, like they were like Senna left McLaren after winning 3 titles with them and went to Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy.
So yeah, Williams' last podium in a full-length race was with Lance Stroll in 2017 in Azerbaijan. George Russell finished second for the team in the one-lap Belgian Grand Prix in 2021. So that's like a technicality sort of thing where they only race for one lap.
Okay, yeah.
So Carlos Sainz scored 15 points, and he had only scored 16 points all season before today, or before the race. He gained 6 positions in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was happy for him. Mm-hmm. And I loved his radio message. It was just so fun.
Yeah. He was so excited. James Vowles is so like happy, like over the moon. Even Alex Albon, who like went to the podium ceremony to be part of the team. I'm like, okay, Williams, I get it. Like I'm buying into the whole like we're all bought in toward a common goal.
I think too. So like Williams for a long time, it was a family team. Mm-hmm. It was owned by Frank Williams, and
then run by his daughter.
But like, so it was always like that sort of family vibe. And I think, James Vowles like kind of reviving that is probably going to be the saving grace to Williams, because that's kind of like why people really liked it. I mean, not to mention Frank knew how to run it.
Yeah.
And I think it just finding somebody who's going to know how to run it. And so I think they've found him.
Yeah. And Toto Wolff sent a congratulations gift to James Vowles, because James Vowles was like Toto's right-hand man at Mercedes for a long time.
Yeah.
And went to the Toto Wolff school of becoming a team principal.
Yeah.
And so, I got to imagine like for Toto, even though that's now like your rival, there's still a sense of pride being like, that's I taught him what he knows. Like my underling,
he was in a way, he's like my student.
Yeah.
And now he's my peer.
Yeah. And he's gone on to run his own team and achieve his first podium as a team principal. Like, that's got to be like a proud sort of moment.
Oh, yeah. I think
that was cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
They have a funny relationship. Like, I like seeing them interact with each other. It's still funny.
Mm-hmm. So the other Mercedes driver, Kimi Antonelli, we already mentioned, finished in P4. He has only scored 3 points in the previous 6 Grand Prix. So this was a great points haul for him, a great finish after struggling for a while.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate this run of this particular success at this track for Mercedes to be replicated until maybe Vegas. Because Vegas tends to be a bit cooler when they go there. So, but the next race is Singapore. Hot as a mother freaker. Like, I expect Mercedes to struggle quite a bit. So, I wonder how much of Kimi's like lackluster performance in the middle kind of portion of the season, I wonder how much of that is the car and how much of that is just him. But then the only way really it's hard to determine, because I would almost say the only way you could kind of judge it is compare his performance to his teammate, George Russell. But George is also several years into his career and has a lot more experience.
Yeah, but some of the mistakes Kimi made, like he wrecked Charles in Zandvoort, that was a mistake he made because of just kind of lack of experience. And I think some of his issues. I think he did. There was like a DNF I think he had that wasn't really his fault. I think he had an engine failure, but some of the mistakes
he's gotten some penalties for racing procedure stuff.
Yeah, like he had one from the pit lane. I just think there's some things that they are rookie mistakes, and maybe half and half. Maybe half of it is just like that is the car. And the other half is just kind of not him being a rookie and, learning from that. But
yeah, if your car, I think it might be a case of if the car isn't excellent, you can't then also be making these sorts of mistakes.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if your car is mediocre or moderate, like okay, you have to be 100% on your game. You can't be making these little mistakes, because every little thing is going to just bring you down, down, down.
Yeah, you don't have that grace. You don't have that buffer.
So Mercedes got a 30-point haul from Baku between George and Kimi, finishing P2 and P4. So that means they remain alive in the Team Constructors Championship. And I think you mentioned they overtook Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
For
now, I don't anticipate Mercedes being able to replicate this level of success, finishing P2 and P4 again, except maybe Las Vegas, where it gets colder. So we'll see. Moving on to P5, we had Liam Lawson. This
was crazy.
A career best finish for him, and it moved Racing Bulls into 6th in the Constructors Championship, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to Liam.
He's hard to pass.
Yeah.
He does not make it easy. They were talking about that. I mean, he was scrappy. He had his elbows out. He had his teeth out. Anything he could have out, he had out. And I found that impressive. And I'm like, I think if he can just stay at a team where he's comfortable, he's got a car that he has confidence in, he might be a problem. Might be a problem for some people.
It's one of those situations where you look at when he was in Red Bull at the start of the season, he only got 2 races with that team, never got to come to grips with that car. And it's a case of just another example that underscores promoting promoting drivers too soon, one. And then 2, also not giving them the time to develop and to get comfortable, which, I mean, we did a whole episode talking about the problem with Red Bull's driver pipeline and their sort of way of cutting drivers too soon, not giving them enough time to adjust, that sort of thing. Yeah. So kudos to Liam. I mean, great finish, great job. Showed a lot of spunk, and that he was displaying when he had that half season or, the handful of races that he did prior to this season. Like you said, elbows out, showing what he's got. Yeah, and it wasn't just he had to qualify. And I know there were some things with qualifying where it was like a timing thing.
Yeah, it also rained.
Yeah.
So that really messed a lot of people up.
Yeah. So I know he had a little bit of good luck in qualifying, but it's not all about your starting position on the grid. He, like you said, he had to then hold on to that position and defend it.
And he was around the best of the best drivers, so
which he's not used to being up there fighting those particular people.
No.
Because you kind of, I think as a driver, you kind of get used to where you fall within the pack, and you get used to driving around, 5 or 6 drivers, like a handful of them being near you, especially when you're a midfield team.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was holding his own, so great job for him.
Yeah, no, he impressed me a lot. I was like, okay, good job.
So another driver who impressed us this weekend, Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh my God,
finished P6. His result in P6 was the first top 8 finish for the second Red Bull driver since Austin 2024. So it's been almost a full year since the last time the second Red Bull driver finished in the top 8.
Go, Yuki.
So that would have been Sergio Perez, Liam Lawson, and now Yuki, right? Or was anybody else in the seat?
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So, awesome for Yuki. We mentioned, he talked about they've made tweaks and some upgrades and adjusted the setup to match his driving style a little bit more. And, I mean, he just did awesome and showed kind of, he's starting to show and finish where, he's showing the performance that the second Red Bull driver should have been showing the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he's also showing because he always performed well at Racing Bulls, and now he's showing that
he didn't just lose it.
Yeah, he didn't just lose it. Now he's able to show no, with the skill that I have, I can do this and better.
Yeah,
it's if we can make adjustments to the car that actually suit me versus you need to learn how to drive this how it is. No, honey, no.
And in one of his post-race interviews, they were asking him if he could have been a little more aggressive and trying to overtake Liam or stuff like that. And I thought his answer was interesting. He basically said, look, could I have been more aggressive and tried to overtake Liam? Yes. But he's like, I'm also weighing that with the risk of if something happens and me being too aggressive or trying to go for that move, then I'm not doing my job as a teammate to support Max and the team as a whole, because then you're potentially running the risk of the McLaren driver, finishing higher, or, you don't know what they're going to do. And so he was like, I'm playing kind of the support role that I'm supposed to play. It's not just about me and what I'm trying to do. It's about the team as a whole, and especially supporting Max at this point. Like, that's what his role is at that team.
Yeah. I mean, I think knowing that and accepting that will do you better. And, like, you can weigh those choices. Like, okay, how can I best support Max? Okay, the best thing I can do is race my race. If I'm not 100% that I can do this, then I'm not going to do it, because the McLaren is behind me and I can stay where I am. And if they start to do something, I can make it my mission to make their race harder. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. And he even said he wasn't confident that he had the pace that even if he were to overtake Liam, that he could keep it. And so it wasn't worth the risk, basically, of trying to pull a move.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
So Lando Norris finished P7 for McLaren.
Wah, wah, wah.
And with Oscar Piastri failing to finish,
bruh,
McLaren scored their fewest points in a race, so 6 points, since Las Vegas 2023 when they scored 2 points.
That was really bad. Like, that was so bad.
Yeah, so we can talk about Oscar. His retirement ended a 34-race scoring streak and 44 consecutive race finishes, which was the second longest streak in history of Formula One. So his only previous first-lap retirement was Belgium 2023. Yeah, so Oscar had the roughest weekend of it, like, I've ever seen, I think.
Out of him.
For sure. So the qualifying was rough.
Yeah, Oscar didn't have a good weekend. I feel like it was commentators' curse. I'm kind of blaming the commentators, because there was like, it was locked in for them, honey. They were like, all their predictions, it was Oscar this and Oscar that. And I think they cursed him, and the racing gods were like, no, out of spite. Yeah. I did not expect that.
That's by far the worst performance I've seen from him. Very uncharacteristic of him, in terms of he's pretty like on it in terms of reaction times to things. He's on it in terms of procedure. Like, he rarely puts a foot wrong, but when he does, he can usually recover it. Or if it's something goes wrong, it's not his fault.
He backed out the grass.
Literally in Australia, the first race of this year.
That was crazy.
Like, he's also not one to like throw in the towel and give up, because that happened in Australia. He took the time to back his butt up out the grass, got back on track, and ended up finishing in the points. So he's not one to give up. It's not done till it's done.
Yeah.
Right? So he had the worst start. I don't know what happened or why he reacted the way he did, but he basically had a false start. He started before the lights went out. But he like caught himself. But as soon as he like hit the brake, because basically what they're doing before the lights go out, my understanding, is they're pressing on the gas and they haven't engaged the clutch yet to shift into gear. So they're pressing on the gas, revving up, building RPMs, like building. The lights go out. They have to shift the clutch, go into gear, and then they're going, right? But he did that, but then like immediately hit the brake to stop, because he realized it was a false start. So you see him start to go. And then you can tell he like goes to, as soon as he does that, hits the brake, the lights go out. So everyone else is moving. He's just hit the brake, has to figure out how to, in his like moment of like, oh shit, what did I just do?
Well, you can even see on his steering wheel, the anti-stall feature was like happened. I mean, he was all jacked. It was bad.
So he basically had to and it takes a second and a half. At that point, when we're talking about these cars are reacting and these drivers are reacting in tenths of seconds, hundredths of seconds, a minute or a second to a second and a half is a lot of time. And so his starting position on the grid was 9th. And he ended up down to the first turn, he was dead last at the back of the pack. And what's funny is that poor Fernando Alonso was behind Oscar on the grid, and he saw Oscar move, and he's just reacting to the movement, not even to the lights, right?
Yeah.
He's just reacting to the car moving in front of him, and so he also gets a false start.
Yep.
But then has to like avoid Oscar, who's stopped in his grid box because he's trying to figure out his anti-stall and get going again.
It was a mess.
A whole mess. And so then Oscar's at the back of the pack with the false start, the anti-stall, dead last. And then we get into one of the turns and he basically hits the corner in such a way that he takes a part of the track that hasn't been developed over the course of the weekend. So there's like not rubber laid down there. It's dusty, like it's slick. So his tires don't grip onto it.
It's like just super understeer. Nothing was happening. Just wrecked right in the wall. Straight
into the wall. And he was out before the end of lap 1. And it's just like...
Oh, and it was bad because, he wrecked during qualifying.
Yeah.
That's why he qualified so low, because he wrecked in Q3. And it was bad. And that was why, though, that happened. And I was like, Lando, the pressure of having Oscar even in the race now, getting points is gone. Last year at this track, you
were fighting for your life.
Like, you literally went from, we just saw it a second ago, like he went through the pack and ended fourth.
P16
to fourth.
Yeah, P4.
So, like, I was and he wasn't even that far back now. He's in the top 10 at this point. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like,
I don't know if it was the drivers off this weekend, being off. I don't know if it was the cars being weird because of the cooler temperature.
I don't know, but
I don't know if it was this particular track layout. I do know that they mentioned that the McLaren cars do usually have an advantage because of the way that their tire management. So at other tracks, when it's so hot, the McLaren cars, for whatever reason, are able to cool their tires in a way.
The water. They got water in their tires. Isn't that what Christian said or something?
Yeah. They're able to cool their tires in a way and manage their tires in a way that the other teams can't. So that's part of what their advantage is because they're able to manage their tires, get them in the proper operating window. They get them hotter faster. They can cool them down faster. They're just really in tune with the tires. So that's their advantage and why they're so fast at other tracks, or part of it anyway. And when you're in the cooler weather, that advantage disappears.
Yeah, but they've performed well, though, at other tracks that Mercedes has performed well at. So I just am like, I don't know. I don't know. That was a disappointment. That was
they were just not on it. I don't know if Lando was like shaken up by the qualifying.
I don't know.
That if that impacted his mentality going into the race. I don't
know. I haven't, bizarre. And I haven't looked at any of their interviews really either to see what they've said about it, but that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I was definitely happy with the result that we got because, like we said, love seeing Max up there.
It shook it up. Yeah. So, those two McLarens not being in the top 10 meant that there was room for other teams and drivers to be in the top 10 and even finishing on the podium. Yeah. So
I'm blaming commentators' curse. Y'all have been hyping up McLaren way too much. Got too big for your britches, and you angered the racing gods from how for sure you all were. And you owe McLaren an apology because it's y'all's fault, probably.
Y'all were the ones that were all, if McLaren finishes 1-2 and 1-3, they sue the team championship.
And they're just like hyping them up like it's a for sure thing. Yeah. And then the racing god said, nothing's for sure around here, honey.
And with Max Verstappen's turnaround, and we're seeing the Max Verstappen that we're used to.
Oh, the last few races fixing to be nasty, son.
Championship back on.
Let's go.
So
add that. Just throw Max in there. I'm ready.
So moving on to sadder news, our Ferrari boys.
It could have been worse. Okay, so
if that's the best that we can say.
No. Oh, I'm saying compared to the team that's supposed to be the best on the grid, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
So go ahead and say your stuff about
So Lewis Hamilton finished P8, and with that, he beat Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc in a race for the first time since Silverstone. And with Charles Leclerc finishing in P9 behind Hamilton, Ferrari remains alive in the team championship.
Oh, I anticipate they'll be second in the next two races. I don't think that's going to be something that I don't see them finish. I see them finishing second.
Yeah.
So with Charles, right? Let me just put this into perspective. Me and Anna like to, if we're watching things at the same time, we talk during it.
Yeah, we text each other.
We text and a voice note. Let me tell you, during qualifying, let me tell you this. I was already furious because I am a Lewis girl. I love Lewis Hamilton. He is my favorite. He is my number one. But when he got knocked out in Q2, I was obviously angry because that was a circumstantial thing. That was really like, you left him out there were like, 5-6 laps on these soft tires. Like, they, what did you want them to do?
Yeah, it was the team.
Yeah, it was
decision.
a team thing. It was not great. So anyway, I'm voice noting Anna. I'm sending her a voice note, and I'm like, I'm so annoyed, blah, blah, blah. The only thing, I swear to God, I said, the only thing I have left to I'll even put it in here. The only thing I have left is if Max or Charles does something, like they get pole. And with Charles, I'm living through you. As I said, Charles, like, what I meant was I'm living through you for Charles. But anyway, after I said that,
the only thing I have left to root for is basically.
As I said that, Charles wrecks
into the wall,
and I'm going, no, like it's my actual live reaction. I said, no, my God, no. And I said, okay, bye. Like,
now, if Charles or Verstappen end up on pole, I'll be happy. But honestly, other than that, there's nothing left for me now. And Charles, I'm living through you. No! Oh, no. Okay, well, okay, bye.
I was like,
I'm so glad that
was so funny. That. I could not, and then I was like, I got this. That was my actual reaction.
IRL, it's like I was sitting right beside her.
It was too funny, but then it wasn't. After I was like, wait, but why? And is that the place he's wrecked before? I didn't know, because that's the place where I'm so stupid, or I am stupid. This is the track that comes from. And so, yeah, that was not great.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was hard. But then you know what? Max pulled. He came through for me. So I had that. It was like scrolling when you see like a really horrendous video and then you see something funny. It was like that.
Just highs and lows.
Yeah, not made to process. So that was rough.
Yeah, so Ferrari they pulled a Ferrari where they just kind of shot themselves in the foot.
I wish I could express the anger that I had properly, but I can't do that on this platform or no one will want to watch anymore.
Yeah, the strategy and the calls that they were making for the qualifying sessions just didn't make sense.
Like, what was so frustrating to me is that, like, that happened to Lewis, and then when they get into Q3, we're dealing with a wet track now. And then, of course, you know, Max he finds the grip and he excels. And I know, and then I'm living in like what if land, but I can't help it because I'm like, I know that Lewis could have qualified better because he is a driver, like along with Alonso. Like I would argue that like Max, Lewis, and Alonso were the best in the rain. And I'm like, oh my God, all because of like strategy, all because of, oh, it was so annoying. And then, I mean, he had pretty good race pace though. I mean, he was like gaining once they swapped positions because Ferrari had them swap. I mean, Lewis did gain for like pretty quickly, but it just was not it. It was pretty just not. I mean, and he did gain some places. Charles did too. I mean, they were battling in the beginning. It was like interesting. They were overtaking people, but it just was very disappointing in the long run.
So moving on to Isaac Hadjar. For Racing Bulls, he finished 10th for the second consecutive race.
Yeah, he's up in the points.
That's all we can ask for.
Yeah.
I mean, good on him. He's still, I think, in the running for our Rookie of the Year.
100%.
So
it's between him or Alonso, you know. It's between them for us. So, yeah, no, I think Isaac did good.
And then we had Oliver Behrman driving for Haas, finished 12th for the second consecutive race. Yeah, I don't remember them talking much about Ollie's drive. It was a little
he didn't
anonymous,
really,
not much going on.
He didn't really have anything exciting happen. Which was like I think a shame because I think he performed well. Was this not the track he had to take over for Kevin Magnussen last year?
Yeah, this was his like F1 debut
with Haas. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was
oh, that's right, because he drove for Ferrari before that.
Yes, he subbed for Ferrari. He subbed for Carlos Sainz.
This was his first last year full weekend in F1 because when he subbed in for Carlos with Ferrari the previous before that, it was just like the qualifying, I think, and then the day of the race. or maybe it was just the day. I don't remember. Anywho, when he subbed in for Carlos, it wasn't like the full weekend, but he had enough notice when he subbed in for Kevin Magnussen after that, subbing in for Haas, that he got to do the full weekend.
Oh, yeah, so Kevin got suspended.
Yes.
For that race. But yeah.
Didn't he have was it him that had a contact, or was it Esteban that had contact?
Ocon did, I think it was with Hülkenberg.
Yeah, there was like a tire touching, but they got out of it. Like they both drove on and were fine.
Yeah, that was Hülkenberg and Ocon. And then later on, the other contact that I noticed was Albon and Colapinto.
Oh yeah, because Franco got spun out.
That was Alex's fault, 100%. And he got penalized for it. Yeah. So I'm like, I was like, dude, that was over ambitious. Like, you're on a street circuit.
What do we do? Yeah. So Alex Albon, driving for Williams, finished 11th on the road before a 10-second time penalty for causing that collision with Colapinto dropped him down to 13th. So, yeah, and we already mentioned Alex was at the podium celebration and the award trophy giving for Carlos finishing P3. So, again, just nice to see.
I think their attitudes will change once they are more competitive. So, if they have a car next year that is competitive, you're going to see that, good job, buddy. Alex and Carlos both come across very nice, but every single one of these drivers is competitive. Cutthroat, and if they have the car that's going to compete, and I think they're one of the teams, like we've said, I don't think there's a clear 1-2.
Yes,
and
I agree.
That's going to be a very
I think that they're close enough in ability, and skill level that they can challenge and push each other, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they can maintain, like McLaren, their two drivers are in similar positions where there's a similar level of skill and ability, but they've been able to maintain a level of friendly competition, or so it seems so far.
Yeah.
They are striving really hard to do that. So it'd be interesting to see if Williams is able to do that with Carlos and Alex, and how they kind of approach managing their drivers, but then how the drivers approach interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, the family atmosphere, and we're all a team working toward a common goal. But like you said, once the car is more competitive and we're racing for wins and podiums consistently, I know that right now they're really collaborative. And they both talked about that, how they're both very open, especially even Carlos, open about giving feedback to each other and to the team, because they're trying. I think part of this season, the goal has always been, we're trying to get the team as a whole up to speed and up to the level that it needs to be. And you kind of have to have, from both your drivers, that open, collaborative communication and process. But once we've kind of got that established and figured out, I think they both have that they got that dog in them. They got that shark mentality of, we can be friendly and nice, but to a certain point. And then it'll reach a point where it's the wall. They build the wall between both sides of the garages, similar to McLaren, where it's like, we're not going to do anything to necessarily hurt each other when it comes to our performances, but we're not going to help each other unnecessarily.
Yeah.
We're going to race. I feel like they're going to adopt that sort of mentality.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that'll be
fun.
More papaya rules, but now they're Williams rules.
Yeah, what are we going to call Williams's driver code of conduct, rules of engagement?
I don't know.
What are we going to call that?
We'll figure that out.
We need a name. So the last team we're going to talk about, Alpine. Pierre Gasly finished P18. Franco Colapinto finished P19. So Alpine were the last two classified cars to finish for the second time this season. The other time was in Hungary.
Yeah, that was not great. They were just pretty I don't know. That was that they wrecked during qualifying. That was crazy, both of them. Which, I mean,
within seconds of each other, was like.
Well, Pierre basically was like, "Oh shoot," and then he was going to be able to kind of continue on, I think. But then Franco sort of reacted to seeing him, lost kind of control of the car, and then it completely wrecked, caused a red flag. It was not great.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about Alpine.
Yeah,
not great.
No, really. I mean, yeah, and like we said, I mean, Colapinto was spun out by Alex Albon, but I mean that's not why he finished that. They were going to finish that low regardless, really.
Yeah, and I think with Alpine, this is a case of the car just sucks ass.
Yeah, as Niki Lauda called the Ferrari in Rush, it's a shitbox.
Yeah, I mean, and I can say that with confidence that it's not the driver, it's the car.
100%.
Because I know what Pierre can do. I know what Franco can do.
Yeah.
I've seen them both in better cars, other cars, driving for other teams. I've seen what Pierre can do in this car last year or at the very beginning of this year. It's not like they're crappy drivers.
No.
This car just sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not good.
Yep. So that is the end of our fun facts. Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was the concept of negative deg or degradation. So this is something that Yuki Tsunoda mentioned in one of his post-race interviews, where basically they were talking about, like, typically in a race, as the tires get worn on the track and they heat up, they will get faster for a bit, and then they reach a point where it's diminishing returns. So the tires, the rubber starts to fall away, you get grooves and blisters and whatnot, and so the tires then start to become slower after they reach the peak of being fast, and eventually you have to obviously change the tire. So basically, for whatever reason on this particular track, they were calling it negative deg, which means that the longer they were on the tires, the better they got, and they never got worse. So it was a case of, like, as the tires heat up, they didn't wear out. And so you just got faster because you were burning more fuel in the car gets lighter, and the tires just never wear out. And so you're getting faster and faster instead of eventually getting slower because of the degradation. So he referred to it as negative deg.
Yeah.
And that was a concept I had not heard of. And they were like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. Well, I did hear them. I heard negative deg, but then I didn't, like, actually listen to what they were saying because I think at this point I was like, I've been up since like 6. I'm done now.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting concept, and I'd never heard it before because it kind of goes against what you've learned about tires and how they typically behave. So yeah, cool.
It is interesting. Well, now we will get into our rookie report. Kimi Antonelli, he qualified 4th. He finished 4th, so 12 points.
Yay, Kimi!
So Kimi was sharp from the start, pressuring Lawson and making the pass after his early stop. He kept pushing late, but couldn't quite catch Sainz for the podium. Still, though, P4 is his best finish since Canada and a strong sign of progress after some tough weekends. So good on you, Kimi. Isaac Hadjar, he qualified 8th and he finished 10th, so 1 point.
We'll take it.
Yes, we like that. Hadjar's race started well, but a mistake at the restart cost him ground. He showed solid pace on the hard tires, though the mediums held him back. In the end, he fought through to take P10, adding another point to his total. So still doing well, not necessarily his best performance, but still in the points nonetheless. Franco Colapinto, he qualified 16th. He finished 19th, so no points.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Colapinto rolled the dice on strategy, but his afternoon unraveled after contact with Alex Albon spun him around. From there, he struggled with possible damage and couldn't recover, so finishing a disappointing 19th.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ollie Behrman, he qualified 15th and he finished 12th, so no points.
He moved up a couple places, I guess.
There we go.
Silver lining.
Yeah. Behrman's race never really opened up. He started 15th. He got stuck in traffic and in DRS trains and wasn't really unable to unlock the car's pace. That's pretty much it, unfortunately. But that's all right. He'll bounce back.
We say that every week.
We always say, we're like, they'll bounce back. We're positive people.
Yeah.
So.
Are we?
Sometimes.
Is it toxic positivity?
Maybe. Gabriele Bortoleto, he qualified 13th and he finished 11th, so no points.
This is the first time we've mentioned him.
Well, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Bortoleto worked his way into the top 10 with a long opening stint and briefly mixed it in with the front runners. After pitting, though, the points slipped away and he finished 11th. So, oh well.
We'll get him next time.
You'll get him next time, buddy.
All the platitudes. You'll bounce back. You'll get him next time.
It's okay. Liam Lawson, he qualified 3rd and he finished 5th, so 10 points.
Yay!
Woo! Lawson showed grit. That's a good word for it. He showed grit in Baku, defending relentlessly against the faster cars all race long. Even though Antonelli and Russell, they did get by him, he held firm under the late pressure to bring home P5. Like we said, he was elbows out. He was very aggressive, and I think grit is the right word to describe that. So good on Liam. And last but definitely not least, our favorite rookie, Fernando Alonso. He qualified 11th. He finished 15th, so no points. Alonso's race was compromised from the start by a false start penalty. After serving it in the pits, he found himself out of the points with little chance to recover. So like we said, he reacted to Oscar Piastri, who had a false start. And from there, he had to serve it in the pits and it just kind of fell away from him. But you know what? Like we always say, you'll get him next time. And I just know I'm going to have an Alonso podium this year. I don't know what race, but we will have it.
Not too many left.
I'm just saying we will have it.
Did you hear he said that for his F1 career that he's definitely going to be with Aston Martin for 2026. And he said depending on how that season goes, he's either going to, if it goes well, he'll retire so he can end on a high note. And if it goes not well, he'll probably stick it out another year for 2027.
I don't want him to go nowhere.
Yeah.
I want him to stay.
I mean... But he'll always be a fixture in the Formula One world. He's already a manager for other drivers.
I want to see Alonso on the podium, and I want to see him do his dance again.
He's active as a mentor. He also has expressed interest in committing to the Aston Martin project, longer term. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move into a different role within the organization or the team.
I don't know. Maybe he'll just move to a different racing league. Maybe him and Max will just go GT. They'll just go.
He's really into karting, supporting karting.
Yeah,
and
he
stuff.
has his own
karting series league thing. Because Oscar Piastri got his start karting, and Fernando Alonso.
I think Carlos Sainz did that too. So yeah. Well, with that being said, we can move on to our best and worst segment. I'm giving my driver of the day to Liam Lawson. I think he was impressive. He did a really good job. I mean, stayed up there. The qualifying worked out, but like we said, I mean, he still had to really work to stay in the top 5. And I just think he showed why Red Bull looked at him in the first place and why he's been on their radar. So he did a good job.
I was originally going to do George Russell as my driver of the day because even with a respiratory infection, he was still able to qualify well and finish P2.
You get to highlight one driver, man.
I was gonna choose him, but now you changed yours, so I'm changing mine, and I'm picking Carlos Sainz as my driver of the day.
Lord.
Because he is a smooth operator. He just killed it this weekend. He had a great weekend. After a lot of bad luck and things not going his way, finally the luck broke in his favor. Was just very happy to see that. And he even said over the radio, this is the best podium of his career. Keeping in mind that he drove for Ferrari for several years, got podiums and won races with them. And this is his his favorite podium that he's gotten so far, the best one. Because he had to fight for it. And it tastes so much sweeter when you have to work that hard for it. So
Yeah, I could see that. My biggest letdown is Lando Norris. Because I just truly expected a lot more from him, especially once Oscar was not even in the formula. He wasn't even in the equation anymore. I really expected more from Lando to fight his way through the field, to maximize the amount of points he could, knowing Oscar was not going to get any. And he didn't. And that just doesn't reflect the performance he had last year that he has shown he can do at this track. And so that was just disappointing.
My biggest letdown was Oscar Piastri. Awful weekend for him. Very uncharacteristic. All of his issues that he had with the crashing in qualifying, the false start, the crashing again in the first lap of the race. Just all around terrible weekend, and expected more.
Yeah, and it felt like it was something with him. I don't know, whether maybe he just didn't have his head on right, I don't know. I mean, normally he is cool as a cucumber, and I feel like this is the first time something changed.
It rattled him.
Yeah, something and
he and even when like we mentioned earlier, even when things have not gone his way or if he's made a mistake or he can usually recover, he can keep that cool head and recover from it and manage to pull something out. And he was rattled, I think. I mean, just awful weekend. Yeah. Cannot state that enough. Awful. No. Oscar, this was bad.
Girl, he knows.
I know you're well aware.
He knows, man.
But yeah, so we can get into our next race teaser.
Yes, so our next race teaser, it will be round 18, the Formula One Singapore Airlines, aka the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Whew, that's a mouthful. Mm-hmm. Our podium last year, it was Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri. Interesting. We'll see how it goes in 2 weeks' time. So here are some track stats. The first GP was held in 2008. It is 62 laps long. The circuit length is 4.94 kilometers, which is about 3.06 miles. The race distance is 306.143 kilometers, which is about 190.2 miles, which again, most of the time when I say this, it's almost exactly the same because that's just how long the races will be. Mm-hmm. The race lap record is 1 minute and 34.486 seconds, and it is held by Daniel Ricciardo, who set it last year.
Oh yeah, on the last lap of the race. Last lap of the race.
And it was
his last race.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Singapore was rough last year.
Yeah.
Like all the emotions, and he that was basically his last race, but he wasn't really allowed to say or officially confirmed that it was, but he pretty much gave all indicators that it was. And then he stuck around until the last part, everyone else is packed up and left and he's still sticking around and the media people are leaving and they're he's still here talking to everybody. All the people left in the paddock, people on other teams that he's been part of in the garages.
It's really depressing.
Yeah. And he just oh God, he had that moment at the end of the race where they were in Parc Ferme and then he just sat in the car and had to take a minute to just I'm going to cry, fully absorb. This is the last moment.
Funny enough, when I was typing this, I got
emotional,
upset because I was I love Daniel Ricciardo, which everybody loves Daniel Ricciardo. Let's be very clear. But that we talked about it before. He was that driver that I liked by myself first, because I love Lewis Hamilton, but my boyfriend influenced me to like Lewis Hamilton, and now obviously I love him. He could say he hated Lewis, and I would be you're nuts now. But Daniel was the first driver I found on my own that I was yeah, I love Daniel, and then he's gone. So anyway, the qualifying lap record is 1 minute and 29.525 seconds, set by Lando Norris in 2024. As well. So the qualifying lap record and the race lap record were both set last year. Mm-hmm. And it has 3 DRS zones.
Okay.
And so let's talk about what this track is like just a bit. The Marina Bay Circuit is a tough track. It's hot, it is humid, and it is bumpy. Drivers can lose around 6 to 7 pounds during the race with how much they are going to be sweating. Mm-hmm. And the 2023 layout did change things up a bit, and it made the lap faster with 19 corners instead of 23. So it is a track they have altered since its genesis. So what are the tire compounds and the strategies? I believe Pirelli has put out a statement that basically the rest of the year, it's going to be the same tire compounds that they were last year. I always try to find what the tire compounds are going to be. If they've changed, sometimes I have problems finding it. So if this is not accurate, I tried my best. So it should be the C3, the C4, and the C5. And normally it's a one stop, but safety cars often shake things up. So we will see. And the biggest thing that we care about is, can we overtake? Guys, it's tricky. It's not easy to do here. The new long straight and the extra DRS zone help, but most position changes, they come from a pit strategy or a safety car. So we'll see. You never know. But yeah, that's pretty much what we can expect. So we can expect a hot, humid race, and the girls will be back too. So we'll have F1 Academy as well next time. And that will be in 2 weeks from now because it's October 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that is pretty much it.
Can we put up our Halloween decor?
Yeah. So next time you see us, we'll have our Halloween stuff up.
It'll be spooky.
It'll be nice and spooky. But yeah, that about wraps it up though. So we will talk at you in 2 weeks' time. And hopefully I'll have the reels up before Hopefully I'll have the rules up for this episode, actually this coming week and not the day before Singapore.
We'll see.
But anyway, bye.